it'd be better to nip it in the bud now before it goes on for too long.
Exactly.
No. My pronunciation of my last name.
Oh, okay.
It's Castillo.
Castillo.
The L's make a Y sound. So.
Thank you for nipping that in the bud. Hello, everyone. What did we nip in the bud? Two things, actually. I actually started the broadcast at 10 o'clock, but on Twitch. Also, my door's open. I'm gonna nip that in the bud too. But also Castillo. What is it? Castillo. All right, move over, kids. This is episode 4 of the podcast. We're joined by William Olds of the Intel Visionaries podcast. We'll know a little bit about that later. And David Castillo. We are not joined by Devon right now, or Devin. He will be here shortly. He had to work super late, and I woke him up. I was like, wakey, and he was like, crap, I told you I wouldn't be able to wake up. And he did tell me that last night. So, why don't you guys talk for a second before so I can do a little bit of housekeeping.
And I'm currently right now posting the live stream to my Facebook page. People can go check that out. Kind of an uneventful week. Much going on except for work.
Where are you guys? Where do you work again, William? Target, I believe?
Yeah, I work at Target, and I'm currently working at one of the other stores so it can do a remodel.
Gotcha. Hey, Riley, what is up? How are you today, my friend? How are you?
What's going on, Riley?
We're going to, I'm going to include you, actually, Riley, in a little participation a little later. I have a contest right now going on in one of the Amiibo groups, and I need to pick a random winner. So, Riley, I would like you to pick that number, but it'll be a little bit. Let me advertise to the Amiibo group that we are live, and I told somebody also that I would let them know.
Hey, Game Show, how you doing?
So, William, what games have you been playing this week?
This week, I actually downloaded that game Brutal that I mentioned. The roguelike, where the characters were done wearing like the ASCII and all the stuff was made in ASCII. Brutal. So I've been trying games a lot. Yeah, Contact PS4, and I think it may be on Steam as well.
I am getting a call right now. William, you are kind of breaking up. I'm not sure what is going on there.
That's weird. I don't know what's going on with that either.
All right. I got date. I think I got... How do I get Devon in, or Devin? How did you do it?
Send me his email.
Huh?
Send me his email.
Well, whatever. Let me tell him on Facebook to get with me. So, this is a little more discombobulated beginning than I wanted it to be. So I apologize about that, everyone. Give me 1 second. You guys talk about something while I get some things ready up.
Oh, all right. Let's see. So I bought Toad's Treasure Tracker for $30 at Walmart this week.
I still haven't picked that up yet.
I jumped on it because I saw a markdown alert, and so I stopped by after work, and a couple minutes later, I had a brand new Toad's Treasure Tracker. I have it for the Wii U. I haven't opened it yet though, but I just waited because I knew it would get ported, and also the Mario Odyssey levels are kind of enticed me to make the purchase again. So
yeah, it's one I still have to pick up. I think the last purchase I made was we've got it down here. I think for $15, I got the Dissidia game for the PS4.
Oh, okay, yeah. So tell me a little bit about Dissidia. It's a fighting game, right?
It's a fighting game, and I'm not much for fighting games as it is in terms of strictly online. But I've heard you can go and you can get your settings just right, so it's going to throw you into an online battle with AI opponents. So I might do that. But yeah, it's kind of like a 3-on-3 fighting game. The characters don't move in a traditional sense of the way other fighting games are. They kind of float around. It's more of a 3D space that you're moving in.
Right. And I think the main selling point of Dissidia is the fact that there's like it's like the whole collection of characters over the years, right?
Yeah, it's I think like 2 or so characters per franchise. I think they're adding more as they go along.
I know that there's I mean, you've got the big guys like Noctis and Cloud and fan favorites, but I know that there's also more obscure characters from lesser known entries in the franchise, right?
Yeah, they added that character from Final Fantasy Tactics, and I was hoping they would add. There was a rumor they were going to add the character from Mystic Quest, and just add characters that are not from Final Fantasy. I was kind of hoping they would add Reifensu Musashi.
Hey, Riley is asking, what is this system for? Or what is this game for?
It's on PS4, but it's also in arcades. And there was a PSP version as well that wasn't as full of the online features.
Oh, is this the Final Fantasy one with all the Final Fantasy characters?
Yeah, it's the fighting game.
I believe I own it for the PSP, but not for the others.
Yeah, the PSP ones are great because it actually has a story mode to it.
Oh, okay. I'm all for that.
Yeah, more of a story mode than this one does, I guess. You're fighting. I haven't gotten a chance to play it, but people are saying you fight so many battles, then you unlock a cutscene for it.
William, are there any Crystal Chronicle characters in it?
No, not that I've seen. They could always add one.
I think that would be kind of cool if they did, right?
Yeah, they're adding more. They added Tifa recently.
Tifa? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Always loved Tifa. Now, which ones from Final Fantasy VII are in it? Is Barret in it?
No, right now it's just Tifa, Cloud, and Sephiroth.
Of course. Okay. I think it would be really... I don't know how the fighting mechanics work, but I would assume Barret would be kind of more of a heavy set character, more damage.
Yeah, he would be a ranged fighter. They have characters that are kind of assassins.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, hang on one second. I am going to give an advertisement real quick. We have JR Magician. Make sure you guys are reading your the chat as well. We got JR Magician saying, hey, what's up? Hey, William, your audio is breaking up randomly, says Riley. Is there any way you can fix it? I'm hearing that as well. It is a little annoying, William. Is there anything you can do? Riley, I did turn up my audio, so thank you for sharing that with me. And Game Shell, hey, what's up? William, also, while we're doing this, try to add Devin on Facebook. I messaged you his email. And
the invite.
Okay, and now I'm going to go live on our Amiibo page. Hangouts, yes. Hangouts. And hang on, I'm adding Will. I'm telling him right now. So give me 1 second, everybody, on the actual podcast while I do this. It is just a quick little teaser on the Amiibo page in 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody, on our Amiibo page. Right now, today's the day that I'm going to do a giveaway, the one that I've had up for a couple of weeks. On Amiibo, there was 34 entries, so that means I believe we can pick from the 25 tier. Unfortunately, we did not get up to Skyward Sword Link Amiibo. Very rare. I'm kind of glad, though, to tell you the truth. I didn't want to get rid of them. But I would have. Anyways, go to the link. That is where you can see us right this second on YouTube every Saturday at 11 Eastern Standard Time. We have 2 hours of a great show with just a bunch of nerds talking about nerdy stuff. Also, today, thanks to Devin, one of the co-hosts who will be joining us shortly, he is giving away 2 SNES carts. Every time I say the word Navi, if you type in the word, hey, listen, you get that cart. I will say it twice during the show. Navi, all you gotta do is say, hey, listen, in the comments below. That applies to you too, Riley. You can enter that contest. But when it comes to the Amiibo contest, that will be drawn. 34 entries. We'll see you there on the channel. So make sure you check us out right now. Click the link. Seriously, I'm turning my head and I'm going back to the show. All right. It says that if you end the video now, you'll have to choose to End it. Ending live feed. All right, guys. Did you were you able to get Devin in?
I'm resending him the invite.
Resending him the invite. Okay, so I might sound better. So, hey William, and then don't know what's up with my audio. So that was you. That was you. BF Delanio. Why do you got that name?
It's originally Delano was a character I created for a game concept that I was working on.
And
then for a while, one of my usernames I had Brave Fencer attached to it, so it just got shortened to BF Delano.
Gotcha. Okay, so awesome. That Captain Toad you were talking about earlier, I wish I would have played that. I haven't played it yet, and it's like one of those things I own, and I even own the bundle with the Captain Toad or with the Toad amiibo, but I don't know. For a minute there, it was just like I started more collecting the Wii U games just to collect Wii U games, and there he is, that debonair beast of a man. I'm only getting his Devin. There you are.
Oh, there he is.
I missed the green shades, man.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
Whatever. I told him we would talk smack about him. That's probably why he rushed to get on when he realized. We're talking about
burning.
Yeah, we're talking about Captain Toad right now. David got it for $30 at Walmart, which would have been a better deal actually than the Gamer Rewards that is going to go away soon. So I should have picked it up there.
Yeah, why? Was that on sale or something, or did you just get a fluke where it was in the wrong spot?
No, it's I don't know if you guys follow Wario64 as well on Twitter, but he kind of spits out markdowns from time to time, and he said Toad's Treasure Tracker is $30 at Walmart, and so I rushed after work and I picked it up. So because I didn't know if it was gonna be like a accidental markdown, sorry. And so I ran and got it, and yeah, it's fun, man. I haven't really put a lot of time into it, but it's one of those games that I'm not going to be afraid to 100% it, because I think it's going to be kind of short anyway.
Yeah, I heard it gets a little repetitive, but to me, I don't really care. If it's like supposed to be like a straight up more of a puzzle game, I'm not really getting it for the story. Like, I don't play Tetris for its like engaging storyline, you know what I mean?
You're not aware of the lore, Ken? Of the lore?
I'm afraid that you might be actually not lying.
And they that's funny. There is actually Tetris lore though, if you want to go into it. It actually revolves around like the creation of it and how it got to America, because that game was straight up created in Soviet Russia, and that's and then there's like a black cart on the NES. So let's not get too much into it. And well, one more interesting fact: Link actually makes an appearance in the NES Stage B, level 7 or 5, I can't remember which one it is, of Tetris.
Wow.
Yeah, it is one of Link's few cameos. Like, he's straight up there and he's playing the recorder.
I think Samus is there too.
Yeah, actually, almost every one of, like, all the big dogs, Kid Icarus, everybody's there. Ken, do you do a live stream of the final Captain Toad level? It's beastly hard to beat. All right, I might do that. You'll get to see me, because I am not a professional gamer. No way, no how. I don't even know if there is a game that I would be like, I would bet $1,000 that I could win. I don't even know if there is. So it would be actually entertaining, because you either want to be really good or not that good if you're going to live stream something, or a speedrunner, I guess.
There are games I beat over the years that people are like, how did you beat that? The game is so difficult. Like, I just beat it.
Yeah.
Give me an example. The hardest game you've beat, or the hardest game that people said was the hardest game that you beat.
People say Fester's Quest is difficult to beat. I had no problems with it.
Fester's Quest. Adams. Is that a side scroller? That's one of those like Fester, Uncle Fester from the Adams Family.
Down NES game.
Top down?
It's a top down.
Oh, interesting.
I've never actually played that one. I have multiple carts of it, but I've never played it.
Very interesting game, and it's I kind of wish they'd done more stuff with that series. I mean, people didn't like it. A lot of it was because of how the hit detection was in it. Like your weapon, you get one weapon that's just swirling around, and it'll hit a wall, and it'll just stop. So you have to be standing just right to get it through a corridor. But once you update, I just start at the very beginning. I don't put my gun in it until it's the top that it can be, and then I just breathe right through. Instead of just going through and waiting for it to keep updating as I go through.
Riley says they would bet on beating 1-1 of Super Mario, which is interesting. I heard a theory one time about Super Mario 1-1 that the deadliest, the video game character that has taken the most video game lives of any character ever, right? Of, you know, as a whole, is that first Goomba in Super Mario 1-1, because
Definitely is.
it has claimed more lives, and you don't think you're like, what, a Goomba? No, but yeah, honestly, think about it. How many people started off? How many people had Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, and then how many people instantly ran into that stupid Goomba?
Right.
So it's like, how many? It's like the silent killer of video game characters. Now, maybe as the years pass, it won't be so much, because not as many kids these days, they're not playing Super Mario Brothers 1-1.
I thought it would have been Blinky from Pac-Man or the barrels from Donkey Kong.
Well, you would have to say that Donkey Kong is the killer because he's the one throwing it. But I would say no, because, I mean, I could see maybe the Pac-Man ones, because Pac-Man still is getting ported. In fact, didn't they just released a new version of Pac-Man that's actually supposed to be pretty cool? So maybe Blinky is back on top.
I know Pac-Man Battle Royale is awesome. If you can
That
find
is a fun game.
What is that? I don't know about that.
It's a 4-player Pac-Man where you're actually competing against other people. So if you get some friends in the arcade that all sit around the game, and it's just a lot of fun. You're going after the pellets to be able to
Yeah.
your friends and eat them.
Oh, okay. So it's not like 4 separate Pac-Man games, and you have to like outlive each other. You actually have to eat them.
You're on one board and you're up against one another, trying to be the last one to survive.
That sounds fun. That sounds.
I played that at a Dave & Buster's many times. I like that one a lot.
Pinball Wizard Arcade in Pelham, New Hampshire before they broke down.
My dad is a huge Pac-Man fan. Like when we go to Dave & Buster's, there are 2 go-to games that he does. He does House of the Dead, no matter which one it is, and he's really good at it. And then also Pac-Man. Like he just goes up to it and says, "Hey, watch this," and then he's there for like a good 30 minutes. So
I see an arcade. I check to see if there's a burger time, and I make sure I play it.
Miss Pac-Man for me. Miss Pac-Man, not Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man.
I actually prefer Miss Pac-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will argue that love story in that game is one of the best of all video games.
Better than Twilight?
Oh yeah, Twilight. Yeah, and what is the other one that might go to? I remember I was telling Devin this the other day, actually. I beat it was the Simpsons 4-player game and Captain America and the Avengers all in a single day. I was at a field trip to Skateland, and I didn't want to skate. I told my teacher I didn't want to skate. I hated skating. And they said, well, you're going to go anyway. So I was like, fine, I'll just play video games all day. And that's what I did. And I ended up beating 2 games, and everybody was cheering for me, and I know my teacher hated me for that.
That's great.
I think the first game I played at a skating rink was Tekken.
Tekken.
Oh, it's the first one I remember being in a skating rink.
That's the first time that I remember playing DDR and saying, you know what, I'm never getting my white butt back on this.
DDR all the time, but these days I get way too winded playing that game.
Wait, what's DDR? Double Dribble?
Dance Dance Revolution.
Dance Dance Revolution. Oh yeah, okay. So I'm Asian, so I guess I'm allowed to say this, but like, because I think that's the new push, crazy Asians or rich Asians. But I'm allowed to say because I am Asian, but man, I'll tell you what, I saw some Asians on that game when I first saw it and decided, no, I don't get the really good Asian stereotypes. I'm not good at math. I'm not like all that stuff, and I cannot dance. So I saw those Asians on it, and I was like, whoa, I can cook spicy food though. So if you guys are ever in Texas, and
Dance Revolution, the dance should be in quotations.
yeah, I was looking at those guys, and they were like, I was like, holy crap. Holy crap.
Moves on.
I've watched a parent pro at that game, and it's like it confuses me on how they don't snap their own feet off.
yeah, I would love.
It's on it is Breakdown. And
Huh?
at the end of that song, there's a you have to hold down right arrow. You have to keep your foot on it and hold it down, and then what you normally have to do is then move your left foot to the left arrow to match where the other one ends. And I just put my foot down and I just drop myself down and hit the arrow with my hand instead.
Yeah,
Nice.
I've seen people do that too.
Nice.
I've heard people say, "Oh, that's cheating." I'm like, nah, it's actually kind of inventive in my opinion.
Hey man, dancing, there's no cheating in dancing. If you're just supposed to dance, you're supposed to do whatever you want. You're just supposed to move to the beat. Nick, hey, how are you? And yes, Riley, I am Asian. A lot of people always, I definitely don't want to, you can definitely go too far down this road, but to keep at the first exit, basically, everyone always, for my whole life, everyone was like, what are you? Because it's they can tell I'm not white, but unless I stay in playing video games too much, I lose the pale complexion. But a lot of people are just like, what are you? And I'm Asian. I'm half Thai, actually. My mom is 100%. My dad, though, is Canadian, so he's white. And so that's what I am. And
my mom's side is some of it is French Canadian, and some I think I have Scottish in me. No, my dad's side, my grandfather tracked the entire family to a couple that came off the Mayflower.
dang.
My grandmother is British. She still has her accent and everything.
Cool. That's awesome. Came off the Mayflower. No, I would consider you British just because you do kind of have you put yourself in a kilt, and I could see you, William, as a Scottish.
You're one in Rocket.
But I'm Asian. I went to Thailand too. They have man, the black market over there is just insane. Thailand is the capital of the criminal world in Thailand. And I went they had straight up these malls, right, that would just go on forever in the sky. I went there and there was just bootleg everything. And these were the big chains, right? It's so blatant over there. Their Kmart's are selling bootlegs of stuff, and they don't even care. And it was crazy. I wasn't collecting though at the time, so I missed out on probably a ton of opportunities when it came to Zelda. But you don't know also if it's real or not over there unless you're a pro. I could probably determine it now, but back then,
knockoff stuff will be based off the CDI games.
Oh man, yes. I need to get a CDI game. I need to get this. I actually own the CDI games, but I need to get a ROM of it so I can play it on my computer or something, because I want to live stream that. That's what I want to live stream.
I don't have in my collection. I also don't have a gold copy of Ocarina.
Yeah, I tracked those down.
Ken, will you hate me if I tell you that I've never played that I've never fully played and beaten Majora's Mask?
Blasphemy.
Yeah, David, to answer your question is yes, I would hate you. So,
But
You get a 3DS
if,
and get on that.
if this comment salvages it, it's my favorite, arguably my favorite game of all time is Ocarina of Time. So,
okay, how about this? How about I just have a strong dislike of you for the rest of the day? Because Ocarina of Time is a very good game. Although, be careful, Riley once told me that they never got into Ocarina of Time. And I was surprised because Riley listed off a bunch of Zelda games that they weren't into. And I was like, how in the world were you never into Ocarina of Time, but you would like the others? Because they liked Skyward Sword and everything else. So, Riley, if you can answer that in the comments, I would be interested to know how you never got into Ocarina of Time, but we're able to get into everything else. That's the thing. You know, I can even understand why people don't like Majora's Mask or Spirit Tracks or certain games, Zelda 2 in the Zelda franchise, even to a point. It's very weird to me, but I can kind of even understand Breath of the Wild, the select few who don't like it. But Ocarina of Time is just like, that's just mind-blowing to me that somebody wouldn't like that game. Or even Wind Waker, unless it's because of the artwork.
I could see it because of the artwork. But
Yeah. If they say they don't like it because of the artwork, then I'm like, yeah, okay, I get that. I don't agree with it, but I get it.
Well, I was into Ocarina of Time so much when I was younger that I ended up making my brother buy me one of the real ocarinas, and I learned how to play the songs too.
wow, yeah,
Nice.
I wish I still had it because it was really, really accurate to the video game and like the artwork that they had for it, but I lost it.
Hey, Veronica David, I think, yes. Hey, what's up? And Nick Clayton is saying that they have, for the CDI, Wand of Gamelon and Zelda Adventures, both sealed. Now, I'll tell you something. Zelda Adventures for the CDI is actually one of the rarest Zelda games out there. The CDI is like the only time Nintendo ever licensed. Well, I guess it's not the only time because they had some PC games and the Atari. But after the NES and stuff, they licensed out Mario and Zelda. And this is the only time they licensed out Zelda. And it was because of a deal. Nintendo was trying to keep up with the Joneses and try to get a CD game out there, and they made a really bad deal, and Philips then created 3 Zelda games. Absolutely horrible, not even canon. Well, not that we know of. Technically, you can always add a Zelda game to canon at this point. But that Zelda Adventures came out 2 years after the other 2 hard flopped. And so it's to have it unopened and sealed. Like, I've actually seen one sealed on mine, and I was shocked. I didn't even know any existed. So, Nick, unless you ended up buying that one, I'm shocked that you have it. I wonder if Navi is in that game. That would be cool if the fairy was there. But what else are we talking here?
I was curious, has anybody here played Enter the Gungeon on the Switch yet?
I need to. I said I would, and then I just kind of put it on the to-do list.
But it's funny you say that, Devin, because after you said that last week, I'm seeing more and more gaming outlets talking about it. So I think it's rising in popularity.
Hey, time out, everyone. JR Magician caught the catchphrase. Devin, hold up the 2. Do you have the 2 games with you that you're giving out today?
I can dig them up.
Dig them up real quick. What are they? Actually, just what are they?
Well, it's Super Mario World and the Power Rangers game for the Super Nintendo.
Okay, so these are 2 cards. Dig them up real quick. I'll talk. These are 2 cards that Devin said he would give away last week if we reach 600, and yippee-ki-yay, we're at 611, actually. So, JR Magician knew the secret password. If I were to say the fairy's name from the Zelda game, he would have to type, "Hey, listen." And that is what he did. So now you get to pick which of your games, JR Magician, that you want. Hold them up, pick them out. It is Super Mario World for the SNES Classic, one of the flag bearers of video games, and Power Rangers. Go Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I don't know if the Green Ranger / White Ranger is on that cast. If it's not even worth playing, in my opinion. I mean,
This is like OG when the show first started.
Oh, so let's see if we can name them all. There's Jason, Trinity, Kimberly, huh?
It's Trini.
Trini. Oh man, there goes my
Billy, right?
Billy. Yep, and Zach. Was it Zach?
I think it's Zach.
Yeah. So,
I liked Cat, the second Pink Ranger.
Oh, I did not know. I quit listening after that. So, JR Magician, which one you want? Just type in the comment below, and the next time I say that name is the fairy's name in Zelda Breath of the Wild. That will be the second winner. Although I do ask JR Magician that you don't say it for the second video game. Only one winner per show, unless you win both the Amiibo contest and this contest. But this is just a separate contest, so go for that. Thank you, Devin, for allowing us to give away one. Don't hate me. Sorry, Riley. Okay, so this is what Riley says. Ocarina of Time just never grabbed me like how the others did. I liked the art style and mechanics of the other Zeldas that made each one special, and to me, Ocarina doesn't have that. Don't hate me. Well,
I can see that too. I mean, I never really got as much into it as most people did, but Majora's Mask has always been my favorite up until recently.
Yeah. I think thematically, Majora's Mask it's really interesting. You have Skull Kid and the moon. The imagery is really powerful. I think it's just the fact that, well, one, I grew up pretty poor, and my games were given to me from like a report card basis. So like if I did good, every 6 weeks I would get something, and I got Ocarina of Time, and at a flea market for like $10, and it changed my life, really. You know, I was so obsessed with it, but with the mystery of the internet back then, the scarcity of information, I didn't really know of Majora's Mask. I thought when my friends talked about it, I actually thought it was like a fan game or something that someone had. I didn't see it as like an official release because, again, like I wasn't exposed that much to like I am now. So
yeah, see, I go even farther back with like before the internet, and I had my cousins telling me about Mario 2 when that wasn't released yet, and they were mentioning, oh yeah, it's got Mario and Luigi, it has a character named Toad, and I was thinking there was a frog character in the game.
I used to think that when I was little too.
And then like when Mario 3 came out, I didn't know much about it, and they were mentioning it. Back then, like, you could mention something in a game and people wouldn't believe you unless you saw it for yourself. One of those things was the Minus World in the original Super Mario Brothers. I had no idea it existed until years later when emulation came along and I was able to replicate the trick you had to do to get to that Minus World.
What is the Minus World? That's something that I remember and know of, but like I guess all my other information has kind of pushed it out of my brain. Tell me about the Minus World.
In 1-2, you have to hit the blocks above in a certain pattern when you get to the end warp pipe that takes you back up to get the flag. The area where normally you'd run across the top to get to the warp zone.
Yeah.
So you're at the pipe, and you have to stand. You have to at the pipe at a certain angle, and you just get yourself stuck into the pipe, and your character slides through the pipe to the right and down into the warp zone room, and you go down into the first pipe without the warp zone activating, and it takes you to -1.
And what is -1? What is it like? Is it like is it just a board?
Well, yeah, it's an infinite level. Just keeps going. It's one of the water worlds.
Just keeps going, huh?
Yeah, it's basically kind of a glitched world that you're not really supposed to get to.
But it can't just keep going. Even if it takes 5 days, it has to like end at some point.
You have the timer too, and you can't really get to it. It keeps repeating.
The timer?
It keeps repeating until the timer counts down.
Oh, okay.
There's no way to get to a flag at the end.
So we have Nick says that he was wrong. He actually has the other 2 Zelda games for the CDI sealed and not Zelda Adventures. But just having it, Nick, I remember when I got my Zelda Adventures, it was a milestone for my collection. Zelda Adventures is I wonder if it is the rarest of all the Zelda games out there. Because Zelda games really aren't considered rare, even though they usually keep their full retail price, with the exception of Twilight Princess on the Wii. But it's a super rare game, and a lot of people didn't know of it, and it was, like, just crap. So, and then what is he says? Oh, and by the way, I think Breath of the Wild will be revealed as a new...
Doki Doki Panic.
What?
That's what Mario 2 was based off of. Was the game Doki Doki Panic.
Oh, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not... What does that mean? Like, what's that comment mean, though? I'm not, like, following.
He might have to explain it in more detail.
Explain a little more of that last comment, how it's going to be revealed as a new Doki Doki. And
No.
EPS 5000. Super Mario 2. Okay. And just wanted to pop in really quick to say, hey, I'll watch the full thing later this evening. Busy day, gotta go. EPS 5000, thank you for doing that. I really just appreciate that. The response that I'm getting off the YouTube channel, whether it be just random pop-ins or people like yourself, EPS 5000, we really appreciate it. We talk afterwards and we're like, that is so cool that person would do that. So just knowing that we're here and saying that you'll pop in later and watch the whole thing, hopefully we won't let you down, but you will miss the contests, unfortunately. But thank you again so much for just popping in. I want to switch gears a little and talk about a game that I actually reviewed. I didn't review the full game, just the demo. Who is like into Valkyrie Chronicles here? Anyone?
Yep.
After you told me to, I downloaded it. I just didn't play it yet.
I like the art style. I'm a sucker for art style. Even if I don't play the game or play the game fully, or even if I don't like the game, if the art style or art direction is there, that kind of sells me on the game.
Hey, Riley, if you're still here, if you haven't gone yet, can you do me a favor and pick a number between 1 and 34? I know you said you got to go, so if you left, don't worry about it, because I know Riley will watch this later, and I'll just get JR Magician to do it. But if, Riley, you are watching this right now, can you just pick a number? 1 through 34, or 1 through 34, whatever you want to pick. And we'll just keep talking. Talk more about Valkyrie Chronicles. What were you saying about the artwork?
That I'm a sucker for it. I love art direction and art style. That's like the main takeaway for me when it comes to games. Like Gravity Rush, I've never played the game, but I love the art style. I'll watch videos just to soak it up. So I'm kind of like that for like Rime. Have you guys played Rime?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that had a really great art style to it.
Yeah. So I'm a big sucker for that. That's pretty much all I have to contribute for Valkyria Chronicles, but...
Oh, man. Well, I just did a kind of 17. Thank you, Riley. I appreciate that. I'll let the winner know in a second who they are. I'm going to finish this conversation. Oben Adams, thank you. Hey, how are you? Oben is he is from... Where are you from? Puerto Rico. Oben is from Puerto Rico, and they... even when they had their giant power outage, this dude was able to still play video games. This dude always is telling me about awesome deals. He showed me yesterday how there's this one game from, what is that, NIS? They are always releasing those games with the Nautica or whatever, with the stickers on them. And we're always showing each other, like, Switch games that are coming out. He is, like, my source. But... so far, loving Valkyrie Chronicles. Thank you for the suggestion. No problem, Nick. That's a selfish, because I want number 5 to come out. So that's selfish, me telling the world about it. So I don't want to keep it a secret any longer. That game is just so awesome. It's kind of turn-based, kind of action, third-person shooter. I don't even know. It's just, the game is just absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how they'll release more, but they keep doing it. I don't know, maybe they'll have the side of the bad guys next time. Have you played it, William? It seemed like we were talking about it last night and you had played it.
Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to beat the first one, but I played through a bunch of it and I enjoyed it. I have kind of a love-hate relationship when it comes to tactical RPGs. So I kind of stopped playing, but I need to get back to it.
Okay.
I'm the same way with like Final Fantasy Tactics, and that's kind of like how I describe the game. Is it's a tactical RPG like Final Fantasy Tactics to be, except you're not on a grid, where your characters are more you can freely roam within the amount of space they can move with the gauge that they have. But you're not like, oh, you can only move 3 spaces and then do your attack. It's like, oh no, you have enough in your meter to get this distance. And yeah, instead of staying on that grid, you're going down onto the world and moving your character around for it and aiming rather than just clicking on a character and choosing your ability.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair assessment. Although I will say that it's a lot funner than he made it sound. Do yourself a favor, everyone. David and Devin, play it. Seriously, play it, and let me know. We can talk about it more next week. It's on demo right now. I don't know how many chapters. I actually have not beaten the demo completely. I think I have, based upon what people were telling me how long it was. I think I just have a little more story elements to do, but it reminds me heavily of the first one, and I loved the first one so much that I really feel that this game will be up there with that, with the exception of they can only go so far with the storyline because they kind of completed it really in the first one. But it is what it is.
Is it having no physical release? Do you guys know?
Yes, actually, not just a physical release. There's a collector's edition released. If you buy it, I know if you get it at Best Buy or Amazon, you can get the collector's edition. And then there's also at GameStop, you can get a pre-order bonus. So I don't know if there's a collector's version at GameStop, but you can get a pre-order bonus, which is a hat that looks like a dog's head with a hat on it. So that's cool. Hey, here's some big news that happened this week, early in the week. If it happens too early, I almost forget about it. It happened this week. Amazon closing off their gamer reward system, and that's following GameStop closing off their Elite program, following Best Buy closing off their gamer rewards program. Any thoughts? Who's got to say anything other than it sucks? What do you guys think? Is this
it would happen? I had a feeling everybody else got rid of them. Yeah, that was bound to happen. I actually found out about the GameStop one about, I think it was 48 hours before they announced it, because the person who runs my GameStop called me up and said, hey, they're getting rid of it. They're probably going to announce it tomorrow. If you want to hold on to yours, come on down and renew yours for a year.
Nice.
Because I figured they'd do one of two things: announce it and give people 24 hours notice, or announce it the day you can't re-sign up.
Yep. See that, people? One quick. A lot of times I'm not really an advocate. Maybe I am at this point. I am an advocate of not making fun of GameStop. That's what I'm an advocate of. Not necessarily GameStop, but not making fun of GameStop, because I feel GameStop gets too much hate for them, and one of the reasons they get hate is like, oh, I was into GameStop and those employees don't care about anything. Well, there's a prime example of an employee, a store, caring about their customer right there. So I just wanted to interject that. So Devin, talk to me. What do you think about this whole situation?
Well, to be honest, I kind of, like William said, I kind of expected it, because Best Buy started that rolling with canceling their program, and then all the other ones wanted to jump on the bandwagon of doing that too, because just to save money. I'm assuming it's a business play, most likely.
David, thoughts?
Yeah, I've only had good experiences at GameStops. I think I've had one, but it doesn't muddy the water for me, and it's they always have great customer service. I mean, as soon as you walk in, they greet you first of all, and then they kind of, prompt the question and say, hey, what are you looking for today? We got this going on. They're always on top of it. So yeah, it's a bummer that they're getting rid of that whatever program that they have. So
why do you think they're doing it now? Nick just said, and I can't confirm this, so I'm not saying this happened or not, but Nick said he was just reading an article that Amazon bought Best Buy. If that was true, that would explain why they both killed their programs. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, maybe it happened last night. I don't know. Maybe it's happening right now. But
Weird.
I do know that Best Buy started selling Amazon physical products in their store. And that's a pretty big deal because, Amazon, the internet phenomenon, and then suddenly they're in a brick and mortar store. And so I could see that. And there's a picture of the two CEOs talking to each other. And I follow this one site called Cheap Ass Gamer. And when the news
like that one.
when the news broke that what am I saying? That Amazon was getting rid of their program, they posted a picture of those two together, and I was like, I laughed because, when they were making their deal, was there a side comment of, yeah, too bad you have that gamer rewards program, causes us to keep it up too. And then it's like, who knows, maybe that broke it down. Now, GameStop could have stopped it for two reasons. One could have, a million reasons, but maybe they stopped it because Best Buy did, or maybe it's coincidence because Best Buy is just trying to improve their bottom line because they're up for sale, basically. And
a completely different reason, and that is when you look at their trade-in values and how much they sell stuff for. With that Pro card that they had, the Pro Elite, you were getting more from trade-in, and you were paying less for the pre-owned games. So stores that had a higher amount of people who had that card were making less money because they were giving people more money for those trades and taking less money from the game seller.
Yeah, that's totally possible too, and that would be more of a bottom dollar thing. And to be honest, like even the Best Buy decision is a bottom dollar thing. I mean, Best Buy is pretty much only selling one type of product. They have expanded a little here and there, but shoot, I don't know how much. I don't know they probably weren't making anything off 20% off a new game. Like, I didn't even know. I thought you made $3 off of a new game, let alone, and then they were taking off $12. So I have no idea how much they were making. But the argument is, if I go in to buy a new game, I'm probably going to buy other stuff. So that was the argument there. And Amazon could have floated it, though. Amazon has enough money. They could have floated the 20% off. They don't owe it to me. I'm not saying they owe me 20% off, but I will say I'm pretty bummed that I'm probably going to cancel my Amazon subscription now because I don't really have a... That was like one of the prime, pun intended, reasons why I had the Amazon thing. I kept it up. Their Netflix service isn't that good, and if I want something so I can get free shipping, all you gotta do is spend $35, and shoot, I can spend $35 on a sneeze,
Amazon, one of the things they gotta stop doing, bring certain types of games and the padded.
Oh my god, yeah, that.
People saw there was one 3DS game that had a collector's edition, and they shipped it out to people in a padded envelope, and the games are getting crushed.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big culprit of complaining about that. I can't at GameStop, especially back when the that crossover game with, I think it was Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem on the Wii U. I forget what it was.
Not Fate, sorry. Fire Emblem FE, right?
Yes, that one. I got the special edition from GameStop because I thought the stuff that came with it was cool. I honestly never even played the game, but that game. I ordered it from GameStop. They shoved it in a bubble mailer. It was literally folded in half. They broke it, and then I took at least a month and a half for them to send it again, and they sent it in a bubble mailer again, and at least it was just lightly crushed this time. But they sent it to me for free. It took 3 months to do that.
My copy of the collector's edition of Persona 5 in an envelope. And if you've ever seen that thing, that's a big box.
You talking about?
Yeah, I have that. I have that exact one.
The version that came
Steelbook?
No, the one that came in the box.
Oh no, that is unfortunate.
I have the big box one too, William. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, one whole corner was ripped apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, rightfully speaking, that box it was not very resilient. I picked mine up from GameStop and it was kind of beat up.
It should have shipped that in an actual box and bubble stuff in, not an envelope.
That's why I get so hesitant of ordering stuff. I get people that I think Amazon has done this, not to me specifically, that order pops and they put it in a bubble mailer, and it's just like a pancake when they get it.
Target did the best thing for the pop for the last Avengers movie because they had a pop exclusive online.
The red chrome?
Yeah, the red chrome Iron Man.
Yeah.
Box was specially designed to hold it, so it was kind of held in there in place, and then the movie is on top in its own separate compartment.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It seems like you just have to take a gamble when it comes to having something shipped to you. Like I had a mini nightmare 2 weeks ago when so there's this company called Data Discs who they're in the UK, and they press vinyl for original OST for Sega. So like for example, I ordered Sonic Mania, the LP that they released, and they also do I think right now they're really promoting the Okamiden re-release, and you see stuff like Panzer Dragoon Saga and Sega, pretty much the Sega catalog. And I ordered excuse me, I ordered the Sonic Mania LP, and it came through USPS, US Postal Service. It didn't come through FedEx or UPS or DHL. It came through USPS, and it was a nightmare because I knew that it was going to take a long time. I ordered from them on July 4th, and a month later I was like, you know what? I was supposed to get my LP by now. I was patient about it, and I double checked, and what they didn't tell me is that it got redirected. It actually came to my doorstep, but since there was no one assigned for it, which they didn't disclose when I ordered it, they redirected it back to their warehouse, which is probably 2 miles from here. But they never told me. I came close to the date where they were going to send it back to the UK by just miracle, and if I would have never prompted that, I would have had to repay the delivery, and it was just a nightmare. And on top of that, the customer service for USPS is it's not something I would rave about. They were so rude, and I'm like, you know what? I just want. For some reason, they ended up pinning it on me in a weird way. They were like, well, you're supposed to tell us if you didn't receive it, which is, I mean, sure, but it was just, and what's funny is that it's in immaculate shape. I'm surprised that it doesn't have a big, it's not snapped or cracked or anything. So
I've gotten records in the mail, and the places I've ordered them from have done a fantastic job shipping them. They got, there was a Ninja Turtles album I got. There was an anniversary album for the Dark Crystal.
Oh, I remember that. I considered buying that.
Yeah, that was great. I got a couple others too, but I don't remember what they were.
I've actually never had one in vinyl LP like that before.
Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable having something like that shipped to me, but I had to because they only do it in the UK. You guys should check them out. It's datadiscs.com. I don't know, William, do you know about them?
I don't know about them, but I'm gonna check them out right now.
Yeah, their website's really well designed, and the artwork is just amazing. Like the Okamiden that they're promoting right now, it's like Japanese calligraphy with watercolor kind of look to it. It's really, really pretty. Let me grab my Sonic Mania one just to show you.
I'm looking right now, trying to find. I just did the contest. I just did the contest, and I know the winner. I'm going to try to locate them first before I announce it for the Amiibo contest. And JR Magician, I haven't got back from you if what game you want from Devin. Devin, did you see that we're at like 612 now or something, 611 on the YouTube page? So appreciate you offering that.
Ken, that 612 is I think it's because of my mom. She's watching live, and I think she liked and subscribed. So yay for moms.
Hey, you know what? Moms are awesome. Thank you, David's mom, Miss Castillo. I was saying his name wrong too, Devin.
There you go.
Now check it out, guys. It's really
Really cool.
I have to
Does
get it.
the actual vinyl have like a neat color or anything on it, or have you opened it?
Yeah, it's a limited edition blue pressed one. It's translucent. It's really cool. I haven't opened it yet, but I will one day.
That is neat.
What are you waiting for?
If artwork from before that'll come. That is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
The limited edition is currently sold out.
Wait, what? What sold out?
Of the clear with pink and white splatter Okami 4-disc set.
It's like Japanese cherry blossoms. It's really pretty.
Yeah,
I've never played Okami, but it does look really neat.
I actually have somewhere behind me. I have the plush of Okami Din, which was a GameStop pre-order exclusive.
Ooh.
All right, JR Magician is taking the. He is taking Power Rangers. I am surprised. I thought Mario World would be the the hit.
Power Rangers. This is a good game. Very good game. Good choice.
Is it as good as the show?
Yeah, I don't know. I always just like this because I liked old school brawlers, and it's just always been one of my favorites. So,
Is it kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the arcade game? Is that like that, or like Double Dragons?
You pick one of the Rangers. You start off as their human, like outside of their Ranger costume, and beating up on the putties, and just progress through the game. It's a side-scrolling brawler.
Okay, cool. You know what? I'll send you Devin. I'll send you JR's address because JR actually won our first contest, and full disclosure, JR, I haven't sent it out yet. I apologize. I've had so much going on that when I have like 5 minutes to be lazy, I take 10 to be lazy. So I apologize. I haven't sent out your. I think it was the Lego Movie game. I haven't forgotten. But I need to send these all out. Right now, everybody's probably like, he's full of crap. He doesn't send anything out. And then one day, everybody's just gonna be like, Ken Skinner gave this away, and it'll look like I gave away like 100 things.
Very true.
You want a good fighting game version of Power Rangers? The one for the Game Gear. It's actually a really good fighting game.
Yeah, right.
One on Game Gear. That's cool.
Yeah, back when the fighting games were so slow on a handheld, that game was fast.
Really, Game Gear. Ugh. Too bad all Game Gears. You can never have a good, like, kids these days will never know Game Gear because unlike the Game Boy that you can just boot up and play, Game Gears they have like a 10-year life on them, maybe 15 if you're lucky.
I always found it annoying that thing took like 100 batteries just to
I was
run.
about to say, man, that thing. I remember playing that at my babysitter's house, and all I did was play that Sonic game. That was it played kind of weird, but it's the one with the hang gliders, and it took like what 6 double A's, I think.
Yeah,
Something insane. It's crazy.
Kids back then would never know the links.
I've only used the links one time in my entire life.
To be fair, the Game Boy, I believe, the black and white Game Boy had 4 batteries. So the Game Gear with color only had 2 more. But yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, my Game Boy, my original brick Game Boy, was given to me by my dad when he was in the military. There was a merchant out in the desert where he was stationed at, and he had like, you know, some contraband like chocolate bars and stuff you can't have on there. And he also he was selling like a Game Boys so that they could be occupied, and so mine is from the desert. So
wow, don't ever sell that bad boy. And
it's translucent too. It's really cool, and it's it's my favorite game on the Game Boy of all time is Tiny Toon Adventures.
Tiny Toons.
Love that game.
Love the game.
Cat Trap.
I love the Tiny Toons Super Nintendo game as well. I wish I still had it.
I need to get that one.
I played Tiny Toons for the NES, but not any other system. I could repeat like the first half of that song because I love that song. It goes, we're tiny, we're toony, we're all a little loony, and in this cartoony, we're invading your TV. We're comic dispatchers. We crack up all the censors. It's Tiny Toon Adventures. Come and join the fun.
There you go.
In my head.
I love that.
That brings it back.
Oh, what's that? Let's see. Cat Trap. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What is that game like?
It's best way to describe it is maybe the NES game Fire and Ice.
Okay, well that game is super rare, so you're gonna have to describe Fire and Ice.
So was it Solomon's Key? I think was the other one.
Solomon's Key. Okay, Solomon's Key is that game is always like one of the first on the virtual consoles, so a lot of people might have played that one. But do me a favor, describe it though. Just describe it for the people.
So you get a single screen where you have to move your character, and you have enemies on the screen that you have to move out of the way. With Fire and Ice, there was a mechanic where you had to slide ice blocks to kill them, and you had to set ice blocks down or remove them to try to get them in the right areas to get rid of the enemies. With Cat Trap, you just have to bump into them to knock them out, and there's a matter of moving blocks in the way and climbing ladders and moving the blocks so you can actually get past two other ladders. Some enemies are on the ground, some of them are floating up, so you have to put a block, go on a ladder, jump onto the block, and move across to hit an enemy. It can be a little confusing. The first levels is very easy to figure out, but it gets harder as the game goes on.
So it's kind of like a puzzle game then, you'd say.
Yeah, it's a puzzle game. One of those single screen ones where you finish it and then you go to the next screen. I think there's even a might not be this one, but in a couple other ones you can actually build your own levels in them.
Oh wow. Wow. I would say my favorite Game Boy game, Link's Awakening, but it's almost like unfair for me to like say a Zelda game is like my favorite on the system. It's like, oh, okay, wow, surprise, surprise. So if I had to say like my second favorite would be, that's a tough one. I remember, I was a kid when the Game Boy came out, so like I remember playing Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures on the Game Boy and thinking that was a good game. So like I'd have to go back with adult eyes to see if I what games I liked. Mega Man, I really enjoyed Mega Man on the Game Boy. I hated Super Mario Land. I hated it. I was like,
that's my favorite one.
I hated it.
I remember going, it was like my 10th birthday or what, I can't remember, but I remember at my birthday party, my mom bought that for me. I loved that game so much. It was my first Game Boy game.
Yeah, it was like our first as well, and I hated it. You know what I'll say?
This is my second favorite Game Boy game.
I can see that. That monster.
I always loved how he's white in that picture instead of pink.
Yeah. And don't play this game, by the way. This is a horrible game.
Never even heard of it.
Altered Space. So,
why is it horrible?
It controls horribly, man. I think, and it was when I was a kid. I just saw it at the flea market. I thought it was gonna be fun. It was $5, and it was not. It was between that or Pokemon Crystal. I was, like I said, I was young, so. And then after that, I got Pokemon Silver, and it's my favorite Pokemon game. So,
man, Altered Space or Pokemon—that's a tough call.
And the first place I played the Picross games.
Love Picross.
I don't know how many people are familiar with the Picross series.
Tell us about it.
It's another puzzle game. The simplest puzzles on it, it's a 5x5 grid that almost kind of looks like a Sudoku. But on the left-hand side, they give you a group of numbers, and on the top, they give you a group of numbers. And the idea is that you have to fill in the spaces in that grid to make a picture. And those numbers correspond to, like if it's a 1 and a 3, you're going to have one space filled, at least one empty, and then 3 spaces filled in a row. You just go through and using logic, fill in that grid until you have a picture.
My wife is a huge Picross, is it Picross? Whatever it is.
Picross.
I am not a huge fan of it. but my wife definitely, like, that's the thing I can get her involved with on any system. And coincidentally, there is a Zelda Picross game, and it's available right now only on Club Nintendo or My Rewards, whatever Nintendo's thing is now, for 1,000 platinum points. You can get Zelda Twilight Princess, Picross. It's because this is one of the only games that has 2 colons in it. That's the fact. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's Zelda Picross Zelda Twilight Princess. So it's you can get it right now. I have it. You can only get it. It's one of those Nintendo things where you can only get it as a reward. You can't even download it off their eShop on the 3DS unless you have 1,000 points. You could probably, I see a lot of people selling it for like $15, the code on eBay also, if you want to just do that. But that is a thing. Hey guys, what Devon, what's up?
No, go ahead with your thing. I'll just go next.
I'm gonna step away for a second. This is the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Harvey. I'm in Houston, Texas, and Harvey, literally, like, last year, let's just say it flooded my house. And I've been on cement floors for literally a year. And the guy is coming today at 3 p.m. and he called me, so I need to go and talk to him real quick. So I'm gonna put you guys talk. Do not let any dead space. We're consider ourselves not video and more of a chat, so no dead space.
Okay. Well, there is one thing I brought up, being the fact that I live next to New York City. Have you guys heard about that? The Game Boy that was like charred to death in, I think it was the Gulf War.
Yes.
That is the coolest thing to see. They have it in the Nintendo store.
I need to go, man. It's my bucket list things. I've never been to New York, but when I will go, I need to go to the Nintendo store, and I wanna take my whole family because I think it'll be something that they can enjoy.
Dude, yeah. Let me know when you come up. I'll go too.
Okay, yeah, definitely. We'll meet up, man. I think it'd be really cool to have a meetup. I know Ken and I are in Texas, and William, you're up there in Rhode Island?
No, I'm in Massachusetts. I'm over on the North Shore.
Okay.
William's closer to me.
Boston.
You guys have good seafood is all I know about that.
Yeah. There's a place down the street from me that the building is in the shape of a clam box.
Ha! That's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that just something random that popped into my head. Seeing that Game Boy and the fact that it's still working after all these years is really neat to me. And I like the museum that they have, because it's got they used to have it set up where it was each generation all the way up until current. But I think they lightly just moved it around, at least from the last time I was there. They have all kinds of really cool stuff in that museum.
Yeah, we wanted to get in there when we were taking a trip down to Florida, and we had a stop in New York. And I guess the store isn't too far from where the Greyhound station is.
Yeah, it's close to it, if I'm remembering correctly.
And we wanted to see if we could, get topside and check it out, but we just didn't have the time to.
Yeah, sometimes when I go there, I guess it depends on the season or when I'm going. The products that they sell are sometimes really cool and sometimes kind of boring, but I mostly just like it because we're all Nintendo fans. And I'm really jealous of the fact that they have this circular shelf that has all the amiibo in it. I think even the Japanese ones. I looked at my fiance last time we were there. I was like, once we finally get a house, I'm building something like that because of my hoard over here. I need somewhere to put them.
I really regret not getting all the Smash amiibos, considering how big of a Smash fan I am. It's I think there are some that are more rare than others now, right?
Well, yeah, there definitely is.
Smash, I went all in on Smash, and then for the other series, I was just selective with which ones I got.
Well, dude, the thing is with me, once the wave with, I think, Zero Suit came out, I completely dropped off. I was like, this is annoying, whatever. And then amiibo started to fizzle out. And then I was like, I need these again. So I started going on eBay and just popping lots of amiibo, because I already had a bunch of them that were sitting open. And I eventually compiled an entire Smash collection and the Animal Crossing and almost all of the Splatoon, and now the only one I'm missing is the green squid. Or actually, no, not green squid, orange squid.
I need an extra Donkey Kong so I can make a Danky Kang.
I actually think I have an extra one that I might be able to help you out with that if you want. I have mine open right here.
Extra Pikachu. I need to make my Pikachu Libre.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I saw a friend of mine that is a... Sorry?
I gotta figure out how to cut the tail because it's only a female. That's the Libre. So I gotta cut the heart shape.
You could use a razor blade I've seen to make the female heart shape. But a friend of mine, because she's a huge Virtual Boy fan, I sent her an extra Mario Party Wario. So she could, I didn't know what she was going to do with it at the time, but she showed me the pictures. She did a Virtual Boy Wario where she painted it all red and black and put that like safari hat on him. And she's gotten hundreds of commissions of people saying to make an amiibo because of that.
I would love one of those so much.
Well, I'll have to link you to the pictures. She did really well. She popped off his normal hat, used this stuff called Epoxy Sculpt to make another hat for it. It's really neat. And she even made a custom box for it, too.
Up on my shelf. Yeah, I'd love a custom box for the one I have up on my shelf right now. I have a Samus that's repainted as Boba Fett.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That nice.
I'm really. I was reading a Source Gaming article the other day, and it was about Source Gaming covers everything Smash, I believe, and they have a Sakurai article where they went through his house, and he's a collector too, of course, no surprise there, but he has every single Smash amiibo in like this light up glass case, and it's so cool. It's like that made me want to have the amiibos now because it's like he's literally looking at his babies right there,
Well, I was trying to go for a full seal collection, then I'm like, this is taking too much space. I'd much rather have them on a nice shelf, and I popped them all open, and like I said, I got lucky on eBay.
I wasn't worried about keeping them sealed at all. There's only stuff I'm still sealed. I have my my Retro 3-pack up on the shelf. That's sealed.
But the other thing, I wanted to talk with you guys on this. I keep bringing this up, but I downloaded Enter the Gungeon. That game is... I don't know if I can't play it. It's so unbelievably hard for me.
Yeah, I need to check it out. Is there a demo out for it, or...
I don't think so. No.
But it's like $10, right?
20, I think.
Well, I was 15. I think it's 15.
15.
Okay.
Right.
I ended up getting it cheaper because I had some of the Nintendo Gold coin thingies that you gain from having so many games. But it's... I don't know. I would suggest playing it. It's a twin stick shooter, and it reminds me, because the levels always change, of Binding of Isaac. It's really hard, though.
I prefer Binding of Isaac, though.
Binding of Isaac is a fantastic game, but I just like that style now because I just got into that one.
Now I want to ask the panel. I know this is kind of a different topic, but I want to ask, what do you guys think will be the next Zelda game, the next major entry in the Zelda franchise? As far as like, do you think it'll be Breath of the Wild with like more enemy variety and probably more of an intimate map with dungeons, or how do you see it panning out?
Me personally, I hope, even though a lot of people wanted to go back to the whole dungeon thing, I want them to stick with the Breath of the Wild because I feel like there's so much more variety that they could do. So I want them to stick with that, maybe and expand on it, or maybe start have a whole new game about it. I don't know.
I want to see a spin-off, not a main Zelda game like Breath of the Wild, but maybe another spin-off soon, like one of the Four Swords type games.
Ooh, having Four Swords again, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I hope they do Four Swords. You guys might as well sign off now because I can just talk the rest of the hour on Zelda, so I don't want to waste anyone's time here. But Four Swords would be cool if they just did a full-scale re-release, because actually that is the only Zelda game never to get a re-release. Four Swords for the GameCube. That is the only one.
I love that game so much.
Even the Game Boy Advance Four Swords Adventure got a re-release, though it was not really available for. It was only available for 2 short windows, but I would like the dungeons to come back. However, I have nothing bad to say about how they did it with these. And in my mind, the beasts were just dungeons. I didn't really look at them. It was a different kind of dungeon where there weren't that many bad guys, but to me, they were just dungeons, because at the core of a Zelda dungeon, it's just a giant puzzle, and that's what those were. So but I would like to see, I guess, a different. I wouldn't want to have to fight back in those same beasts. You know, that's done. I would just like different kind of dungeons, I guess. And maybe more the traditional or stereotypical dungeon, but it would be cool if we did stay in the Zelda world, if we did kind of do a Twilight, or not Twilight Princess, but a Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask type of sequel, where we're still definitely in the same world of Breath of the Wild. And maybe it's even the same exact map, and, you know, they go underground and they find more stuff, or they actually try to find Skyward Sword up there in the skies. I don't care, you know. But that's what I would like to see. I think that would get us another Breath of the Wild game in the next 5 years, or another Zelda game in the next 5 years as well. And I would also like that, you know how they said that there was, to create Zelda Breath of the Wild, there was a demo that they did in the Zelda #1 vein. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
And I would love for them to release that on their virtual console or whatever, just a $5 release of that. That would be so sweet.
I would enjoy that too.
So I'm game for anything. I think it'll be hard, though, to go back to top-down straight after Breath of the Wild without the 3DS getting as much support as it once did. It would have to come on the Switch. Therefore, I could see backlash, actually, on a top-down Zelda game after Breath of the Wild on the Switch, which I think would be a shame, because I would love almost any kind of gameplay. I
agree there. I would actually much rather go than make another top down, because the Link Between Worlds is by far my favorite 3DS game. So
yeah, it would be cool. Imagine if they went like the total other route and gave us another side scroller like Zelda 2.
Style as well. I could see a kind of a not the cell shading that the other one had, but do a whole hand-drawn look like that Wario Land Shake It game.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Do a top-down as well, but just do that whole animation style.
Yeah, I think the next entry, I would love it if, like Ken said, you know, they already have a good template to do more in, as far as like maybe the Breath of the Wild entry. You know, there's so much. I think there's so much more to that world, and like you said, maybe like an underground, maybe like a trying to collect my words here. Pretty much like the map, but pretty much inverted underground, with like dungeons and different places to explore. I think more enemy variety would be really nice too. You know, I had the most fun probably fighting Wizrobes. Wizrobes,
oh
really
man, yeah.
The different elements. If I could bring one enemy back, and I'll ask you guys which enemy they should bring back from the Zelda lore, but I really would want them to bring Pose back.
Yeah.
I can agree on the Pose.
In like Breath of the Wild artwork, and because they're kind of like phantoms, right? They're like little phantoms that float around, and there's different ones. I think I would really like that. I also I would like to see more weapons and attachments you can put on your body, like hover boots, and I really don't miss the hook shot. I know a lot of people miss the hook shot.
I
I
do.
do.
Yeah.
But I love, probably one of my favorite attachments in Zelda lore is the hover boots. I don't know why I thought that was so cool when I was a kid. But what about you guys? What enemy do you want to see come back?
Hang on one second before we answer that question. Just a couple shout outs. I've been talking about in the chat. A couple of them are like we should meet up at E3 road trip, all get together. And hey,
I'm down.
start thinking about it. No one say anything right now, but start thinking of 2019 E3. What if? What if? Don't agree, because then I'll hold you to it. Just start thinking of it. Start thinking of it. And then we also got Nick saying that Zelda 2 is his favorite actual Zelda game, pure nostalgia. And Dankuru says, so glad to be part of the first 1,000 subs. And so, yes, I am actually, dude, I am just amazed that I got 600, to tell you the truth. I'm amazed I got 30. So, I'm really blessed that you're a part of the first 1,000 as well. So thank you, because it's hard. The first 1,000's the hardest to really get, and then it kind of once you hit like 50,000, it kind of just comes trickling in fast. But to make people believe in you at 1,000, so I'm thanking you right now. So if I were to say about what I want returned, Navi would be a cool return. And then also I would say, but you got the giant fairies anyway, so I guess they're not necessary. But I would also say I do miss the hook shot. I don't just miss the hook shot, I miss both hook shots. I would love a and then that twirly thing, that giant gear top from Zelda Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Man, that was
really cool.
And another Twilight Princess thing, what about that giant mace or ball and chain, whatever that was?
Oh, that was the Morning Star, right? That was so cool.
Yeah, Twilight Princess. It had some phenomenal takes on the weapons. So I would definitely I would like those to return. What about you?
I had up enemies. There was one I was thinking of. It's actually only appeared in the 2D Zelda games, and I'm trying to see if I can pronounce it right. The Goraya. The rat with the boomerang.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My personal opinion, I would love to see the pose come back. I thought those were always really neat. And if I had to have an item come back, I also agree with Ken on the hook shot, but I want the metal boots that would use in like the water temple.
Yeah.
I always like those for some reason.
I like how like the metal boots, he'll sink. And Nick Clayton, hey, listen, you got it, Navi. You like how I threw those in? I was trying to figure out a way to get Navi back in. So the contest is over right now. Nick Clayton gets Super Mario World. Thank you for doing it. Hey, listen, I've been tripping over myself trying not to say Navi, and then trying to figure out how to say Navi naturally in the conversation. But I find it funny, the boots. It's like, oh, the boots are so heavy, I got to take them off to float. Let me put them in my pocket. And then suddenly he can float.
Well, that's just normal video game logic. But sorry.
Gloves, the gloves that you could dig with. I think it was one of the Seasons games that had those. That was a pretty.
Yeah, I remember those. I love the Seasons games.
I actually never got to play those all that much.
I like the history. They wanted to make more than the two. They wanted to make it a trilogy.
Yep.
They couldn't implement a save feature on it.
And the director, was it Fuji? I forgot his name. But you're right. He intended there to be a third game, and I personally like the lore from those games. They're very different as far as lore goes when it comes to Zelda.
You can't complete it 100% unless you have both games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and some controversy recently, the fact that it was always believed that those games came before Zelda Awakenings, because at the end, after you complete both games, there's a ship, and that ship then you believe to be the Zelda Awakening ship. And then when they did the timeline, it came after, so everybody was like, okay, that's what it is. But they've since moved Zelda Awakenings before oracles of seasons and ages. So now that ship at the end is more of a mystery, and it probably actually pertained more to the third game that was supposed to happen, but whatever. So now Awakenings is before Oracles and Seasons.
Right.
There's one thing, going back to what David was saying, that I always thought would have been a cool idea ever since they came up with the idea of the timeline, to have a Zelda game come out that, not to say time travel, but he would go back in time to other timelines to correct something into what it should have been. You know what I'm saying? I always thought that was a cool idea, but I don't know how they would actually implement that.
I mean, my favorite part of Ocarina of Time when I was a kid is just the fact that young Link turns into adult Link. There's that time travel aspect to it, and you're right. If he were to visit another timeline, I think the game would already be made itself as far as the plot goes. Like, he's trying to correct something, but he inadvertently creates a mistake or some adversity he needs to overcome. That would be pretty neat.
And the other thing,
the other games in the series. So he gets sent to the why am I blanking on it? The GameCube one, the
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker. He goes there and he's in the Wind Waker style, but also is the same costume he's supposed to be for the new one.
That would be cool.
And it's now a 2D side scroller, and he's still wearing the outfit he's supposed to have.
That would be
I'm
really cool.
weird when it comes to Zelda. I mean, on Breath of the Wild, I could actually have an entire game based on just the little puzzle dungeons that you would go into, the shrines. I almost forgot the name. If they made just a compilation of all the shrines, I would actually buy that. I love the shrines.
So do I. Shrines were great.
I just like, some of them were really easy and some were really complex and took a lot of thought.
I actually hypothesized a lore concept for a Zelda game. If I were to be like a game director, I would like it if there was like, I always envisioned a young Ganon, like kind of a Ganon that's before he turned evil, and Link is his friend. Link is like his like under his like an apprentice almost, and they're rogues. They're like morally on the fence. They're not good or bad. They're just kind of out exploring. I think that kind of like a shonen and a ronin. You know, they don't belong to any type of hierarchy of any kind. They're just kind of out doing their own thing. And then the pivotal part of the story is Link seeing Ganon go down a wrong path. And then you have, I think that would be a really cool concept. That way the game is kind of, the story is concentrated on the relationship between a young Ganon and a Link. That would be really, really nice.
Personally, I would love to see that.
It's weird, like when you say something like that, like I never even considered that, because Link and Zelda have been friends growing up in previous Zelda games. Not always. Sometimes they meet for the first time. Sometimes Link is just a peasant, but sometimes they're best buds. And so I never even considered Ganon and Link being friends, but it could happen. I mean, nothing says Ganon has to be a Gerudo, let alone just some kid or whatever.
Well, I think he would be a Gerudo. I think I love the Gerudo race, and I especially love how there was a lot of representation in the Breath of the Wild games. I think there's a lot of, I don't know, for some reason it's fascinating how he's Gerudo and he's the only male Gerudo in like so many years. But there could also be the concept of, you know, it even puts the Triforce front and center as far as like he's power, Link is courage, and then you have wisdom as Zelda. I think that there could be like some good, the way the plot goes, I guess, you know, with the Triforce.
Yeah, that would be cool. I've never considered that, but man, it would be cool. I think Hyrule Warriors could have, if they would have made Hyrule Warriors canon, if you go through that game, it could have actually kind of combined all the timelines. The way they did it was kind of unique, but it's not canon, so it doesn't count. But there were ways. Nick had a theory on the Zelda games. I'll see if I can find it. It was a pretty cool theory. In one timeline it's more spiritual, in another timeline it's more physical, and that goes back to when the King of Lions, the king, put his hand on and said, "I just want to destroy Hyrule altogether." But you know, another you know what would be cool also if it was something about the timelines. I'm blanking on it, but I'll remember it. But if I had a villain, I would bring back also the Re-Deads. I hate those Re-Deads, but I'd bring them back.
Man.
Yeah, I can agree there on that one.
Dude,
I always thought another idea of maybe I could be wrong, or maybe they have gone into this, but a little more lore, I guess, or focus on the sages from the Ocarina of Time.
I can see that.
I always thought they were very
Yeah.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
that Zelda's and Zelda 2, have they gone and actually explained which Zelda she is? Have we had a story involving the one that went to sleep?
Yeah, that's that. I've thought about that for a while now, because in theory there are two Zeldas in that right now in the Zelda 2 timeline, and because that's the last game, if you're not including Breath of the Wild, because they said Breath of the Wild can be at the end of all three timelines, but in Zelda 2, well, Zelda 1 for the NES, he saves Princess Zelda, but in Zelda 2, there is another Zelda that has been under a deep sleep for hundreds, thousands of years for whatever reason, which means there are two Zeldas living in that timeline. So what if both Zeldas have children and stuff? Because Link wakes her up at the end. Does that make sense? Did I explain that right?
Yeah, I get you.
They could do. There's still one game missing in the timeline between whatever game was before that, like before the original Zelda and the Zelda 2, and whatever was before that in the timeline. That's a story that they could do. You know, at the end of the game, she goes to sleep.
Yeah, we could have that. They did explain it in the manual. I mean, back in the day, the manual was all the story we really got. And it was pretty much like her brother was power hungry, and he cast the spell, knocked her out, and then he felt bad about it and stuff. It almost had nothing to do with the Ganon and everything, but Zelda 2 was there. Kristen Sims, hey, how are you? Yeah, we're talking about the timeline right now. Real quick, everyone, I want to throw out the winner of the thing. Talk for a second while I find this person's name. I had it down and then I forgot to. I have to go back and count.
Well, there was a random thing off the topic of Zelda that I wanted to bring up. And did you guys see the fact that Night Trap is on the coming soon on the Switch?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was funny because I didn't know that Limited Run Games did this, but they're the ones that put the game on there. Like how it says the publisher. I just thought that was interesting that Limited Run Games put that on there instead of another publisher. I thought they were only just the ones that would just publish the cart and just send that out.
They're getting bigger, and so they can do more. Kind of like GameStop sometimes publishes a game. It's just they're able to do more. I mean, I didn't know that Night Trap was going to be fully produced and even the digital form released, but I'm not totally surprised either.
I'm so excited to get that next month. I think that's when they said that they were going to ship out.
I kind of wish Run could actually release stuff over here that isn't getting an ESRB rating, because there's a game on the PS4 that they had to cancel for the US and the UK because it wouldn't. The US, Sony just said no, you can't release that over here. You won't allow.
Real quick.
Two.
Real quick, everyone. The winner of the Amiibo contest on the Amiibo page is Andrew D. Pakia? I'm not sure. I pronounce names horrible. So, Andrew, I actually tagged you on the Amiibo page that you are the winner. The way, just full disclosure, the way I picked it was I randomized everybody's name. I just, I took all 34 entries, and then I just copy-pasted in different orders. There was no rhyme or reason to the order. And then I had a faithful viewer, Riley, they are always commenting. I don't know the person. Like, I've never met the person. I've never even seen a picture of this person. Anyways, before they left on the podcast, I said, pick a number. They chose 17. I just counted down the list, and Andrew D. Pacquiao was the winner. So, Andrew, if you're watching now or if you're on the Amiibo page, get with me, and then we can go from there. So, do y'all like Mean Bean Machine?
I love that game.
Tell me about that game.
Well, it's been a long time since I played that, but I always thought that it kind of emulated Dr. Mario in a way, but I've had people tell me that it didn't, which I don't really understand. But I just like the puzzle aspect of that game because I've always been obsessed with like Tetris, and that's also when Puyo Puyo came out on the Switch, I instantly picked that up. I unfortunately don't play it all that often, but it's one of my favorites.
I have Puyo Puyo as well, and I grew up playing Mean Bean Machine with my mom, and a lot of good memories with that. It's really addictive. I like seeing the characters like it's pretty much like a boss rush essentially. Yeah. And I just like the artwork too.
Yeah.
I have never played Mean Bean Green whatever machine. The only I suck at Puyo Puyo. I'm good at Dr. Mario. And earlier I said if I had to put money on any game, I probably wouldn't because I'm not that good. But I actually take it back. Tetris. I'm actually very good at Tetris. The highest score I ever got was 356. I mean, and you're talking, it tops out at 200. So I was able to go an extra 156. And let me tell you something, even in the 300s, I was doing Tetrises. Now, I'm not going to say that that is my normal game, but it was not uncommon for me with the right amount of practice to get in the 300s. So Tetris is a game that I am actually very good at.
Have you guys seen the video of one of the best Tetris players in the world, Trevor something? And there's a new VR game called Tetris something, I forgot, but they had him play the game in VR, and he got like the most Tetris you could get. It's like a deck something. It's like 12 Tetris or something. But have you guys seen that video? It's like
I saw it show up on my Facebook feed, but I didn't actually watch it.
Really good video. It's like he was actually playing better in the VR version than he was in the native game that he was used to.
That's funny.
That is crazy. Hey, Kristen Sims asks about Fortnite. And any of us play. I guess she cannot stop playing. Fortnite is a game that I wish I was good at. I was like really pumped when it came to the Switch because I had not been playing, and I was like, I'm gonna play, and this will get me up there with the live streamers. And well, I'm just not that good. I guess I got too used to Nintendo not having third-person shooters, and I'm just not that good. But Devin is an avid Fortnite player. I don't know if you guys, the other two, play, but Devin, talk to me about Fortnite. Where's your progress? What do you got to say to Kristen?
Well, at the moment, I actually kind of dropped off of playing it because I was doing it intentionally, not like I stopped wanting to play the game. But I bought the, Battle Pass. And I got so into playing it that it was like the only thing I picked up on my Switch. I got up on the like level 65, and I was just playing it a little bit last night. It's a fun game, but I can see how it can get old.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just came out with the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, and they put the game on here too. I like it on the Switch. I can't stand playing it on this. It's really hard to play.
Yeah, my little sister plays mobile. She was actually playing it right before I started the podcast. And it's funny because that's the only way she plays, and she's actually gotten pretty good because she's so used to the controls now. I think what Fortnite has going for it is that it feels fresh and new every time you play it. But same thing, the last 2 weeks, I've intentionally dropped off of it because it's this black hole, and it's so addictive. But completing the battle pass, I don't even think I'm going to do that this season. It's really time consuming, flying through rings and such. And it's kind of hindering my progress on other games too. So
yeah. Since, like Ken might have told you, I was actually doing an overnight at my job last night, and once I finished my work, there's downtime. So I was playing Fortnite last night, I got one of the Power A controllers, the ones that have like the cord hookup. I have to say, this is just random. I don't like it. It's way too touchy, and they're very, very annoying to use.
I got. Don't mean to interrupt you. I got a Power A when Mario Odyssey came out. I got the red one that Best Buy was promoting, and I was like, oh, this actually, I like the artwork on it. It looks really nice, and I tried playing with it, and I returned it like a week later because the buttons are clicky. They feel really toy-like, and it just didn't vibe well with my hands. It was really weird, and I had to. I mean, I love the artwork. I think they do really nice artwork. I think there's like a black and gold Zelda one that's really nice. But I just had to return it because I had no interest in having something that I really didn't enjoy having in my hands.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, time out. I want to send out a quick apology. Kristen Sims, I get everyone's name wrong, I told you, is actually Christian, and he's a dude. So I was pronouncing it, but sorry about that. I apologize, but thanks for keeping with us. Keep going, guys.
But I bought the Splatoon one, and I love, like you just said, I love the artwork on it, but I don't know. It's just, and the fact that the thumbsticks were like the size of a quarter, I just didn't like the fact that they were so big. And when it comes to playing on Fortnite, I usually have my sensitivity up on like 6, I think it is. I had to turn it down to like 3 just to be able to even barely be able to play the game. I don't know why it was so sensitive. I don't even understand that. And I also hated the fact that it doesn't have rumble feature, but I guess that's another reason why they're so cheap.
Yeah.
So you're saying...
I wasn't... Oh, sorry.
Basically, I was just getting about these Power A controllers. You're saying that they're just not that good then?
I don't know. I guess I can understand how in some games that they would be okay, but I'm spoiled with the Pro controller. So
you're talking about this, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, they're different artwork, but this is basically it. So you're saying that this one is not as good?
Yeah, to me it just feels clunky, but I've been spoiled with the Pro controller since day one, so maybe that's why. If you've never used the Pro controller, then maybe you'd be able to use that perfectly fine. But for me, I don't like it.
Yeah, there's 2 things that could work out when it comes to the Power A control. The artwork's beautiful, and I don't know if you guys remember growing up, when you had your cousin come over, you would hand him the knockoff controller. That's the only way I can see that happening. My cousins had Mad Cats. I had Mad Cats waiting for them in the closet because I didn't want them touching my official controllers.
I've always had horrible luck with Mad Cats controllers. Every single one of them I ever bought broke.
I think my unofficial controller, I'll get it over there somewhere. It's one of the PS1 fight sticks that Amazon released. And I've heard it's actually on the secondhand market. It sells for quite a bit.
Really?
Just like them for the fighting game community.
You know, while we're talking... Oh.
Go ahead.
While we're talking about controllers, so I guess I never had a favorite until I had to think about it. And then I suddenly... Or until it came back on the Wii U, the GameCube controller. What do you guys think about, like... Why does the GameCube controller get to come back only for Smash Brothers and everybody gets excited? Because they're literally... GameCube was around, what, 15 years ago? And then it was complete... The GameCube controllers, you could actually use them on the Wii. And then when Smash came out, they had an adapter and everybody was excited, myself included. And now that it's coming out for the Switch, they're allowing us to use GameCube controllers again. Why doesn't Nintendo just keep the GameCube controllers around for everything if they know it's that good? Or do you think it's only good for Smash? I mean, not only good, but it's best to just have it for Smash. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that because of Melee, everybody was like, okay, well, this thing handles the best. Because I've always heard different stories that it was pressure sensitive in some way when it comes to the sticks. I don't really understand why or how. Don't really want to even get into it because it just brings me back to how I can't stand Melee players. But anyway, I agree. I think that they were just a good controller, and I think Melee just kind of cemented that. So every time they brought it back for a Smash, I mean, it was like the best way for pros and people that aspire to play the game as good as they can to play it.
And just a quick interception. Devin, not saying that he doesn't. Well, he's had a couple bad experiences at Melee tournaments with the hardcore Melee fan. Because I prefer Melee, so he's not saying anybody who likes Melee sucks.
No.
He's saying that people who get a little too aggressive with their opinion, those people suck.
Yeah, like I'm a fan of all Smash games. I don't like the people that are Melee's the only game and that's all we're gonna play and sure. No, I like all Smash games. I have my favorites, but I think they're all good in their own right. I just don't like people that are complaining saying this game is horrible because it doesn't have glitches that allow me to play better. So you want a broken game is what you're telling me.
Right. I think they want to. It's and I'm seeing it now with the Melee community and the competitive community. If anything, is that when Sakurai mentioned there's a mode now where you can build up a meter for a final Smash, and they were like, "Oh, that's." I was reading. Was it Twitch chat or YouTube chat? People were saying banned. They don't give new concepts a chance. Every other fighting game community has evolved and changed over the times. Like Street Fighter V has new mechanics, Tekken has new mechanics, and I appreciate how strong the gaming community is for Melee. I really do. And I actually love a lot of the pro players, but I don't like how close-minded they can be sometimes, and I don't like how aggressive and how they don't come to agreements, diplomatically. They have to. They're just like you said. They can be very toxic at times, and I think if they just give it a chance and they try new things, it would be cool to see the Smash competitive scene with final Smashes that are built up and have exciting moments like that, and it can be a strategy too,
Yeah, you pretty much just have to get good with it, because I'll tell you what, I don't like final Smashers. I just don't like them. But a lot of the reason is I don't like them is because like Peach is my main, and her final Smash was a bunch of everyone fall asleep for 2 minutes, so I'm rushing over for 2 seconds. But then Sonic, he's like Super Sonic for 3 minutes, and I'm just the dude kills me 2 times, and I'm like, all I can do is put someone to sleep. So I don't like Final Smashes, but that's because I'm looking at it from a very selfish perspective that my character is not, William, I saw you were saying something, but I didn't hear you. I don't know if your microphone is still having problems or not.
I don't think it is.
Okay, go on.
I completely blanked on what it was I said.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So what else are we talking about? But I heard a theory that the Smash Brothers, and this might be true, I don't know, that the GameCube controller was just because it became synonymous with Melee, and because Melee is the standard bearer, it seems, and that the 64 version kind of came out late in the N64 life, and it didn't even really have that much fanfare. And I don't know, because I actually stopped playing video games for 2 periods in my life, and that happened to be one of them when Smash Brothers first came out. And maybe it just was not that popular. I mean, it was popular enough to get a player's choice version, but maybe it still wasn't that popular. And so when it came out for the GameCube, there was a resurgence, and I know that's when I started playing, and so the GameCube controllers became synonymous. And the fact that with the Wii being able to use GameCube controllers, that's what I used. I used the GameCube controllers on my Wii, and so that's why it's still just kind of coming out.
My first Melee copy of ever. This is when I became a huge fan. As you can see, this is still the original thrift store, not thrift store, flea market. Because I didn't have much choice as far as games went. Like I said, it was a report card basis, but it wasn't only until last year that I got a fully complete copy. But it's
nice.
It's my favorite franchise. I think I've mentioned that before.
Yeah.
I still need a 64 copy.
The funny thing is, I used to have one, but I didn't have the American version. I had the Japanese one.
Yeah, a couple things real quick. one of the reasons why I say that Smash Brothers didn't even really get a lot of I don't know. It's almost like they didn't expect it, because if you look at it, look at Link. Link right here.
Yeah.
And maybe it more so speaks on Link's placement at the time. I mean, he's not even, can you imagine Link kind of being pushed aside on the cover of a game nowadays? No. And even Pikachu, you don't see Pikachu's face. You know it's Pikachu, but, I mean, you're pretty much just looking at Mario here. And then you kind of notice everything else. And you almost don't even see Kirby and Link. And it's so, like, almost this came out as an afterthought, it appears. I'll also say GamerCat makes a great point that every game community has its toxic members. That kind of goes back to us saying that Melee competitive people are toxic, and I do think that it does seem like that there has been a pushback on the Melee community, and I can see that. It's usually the loudest in any group. You know, the people that you tend to stereotype are usually the loudest and the most bigoted or hateful of that group, and it's like, you know what? If we took out that 5%, the community would probably just be a really nice, welcoming community.
Right.
The other thing that I wanted to bring up too is like when you look at Smash games and how easy they were to set up the console, I feel like a lot more people want to play it, because you go back to the N64, it was just put the card in and play. And same thing with GameCube, just put the disc in and play. But when we got to the Wii and the Wii U, you had to have the tablet and everything hooked up, and then it took forever. And now I think when the Switch has come, it's just put the game in and play. I think it's going to be a lot more pick up easy for people. And that's another thing why I think people like Melee so much.
That's the only reason I tote my Wii U around, Devin, is for Smash. And if it wasn't for Smash, I mean, it is so cumbersome as far as setup goes. It's
yeah, and especially because I don't know about you, but my tablet for my Wii U, the battery dies if I look at it wrong. So I always have to have it.
Yeah, my battery exploded on the Wii U.
Oh. That's horrible.
But I actually bought a new one. Man, my video feed on my... Can you look at the YouTube channel real quick, guys, and see if it's still going strong and what the last comment was?
Opening it up now.
All right, and Christian says that his wife is a monster on the Wii U Smash because never beat her. Well, that is a challenge. That is a challenge. New challenger approaching. For this channel, I am dead serious. I want to devote Friday night or something to just playing Smash Brothers. And I don't know if I'll do it on Twitch. I'll probably do it on YouTube. I'm kind of liking the YouTube community better than the Twitch community. Nothing. I'm not saying I've had only a good experience on Twitch, but I'm just finding that I'm able to reach more people on YouTube. And so, Christian, if you are willing, and your wife, let's Friday nights on December 7th. Moving forward, I'm going to be doing Smash Brothers, so both of you are more than welcome.
Are we able to jump on with you to play matches on Twitch?
Yeah, you would be able to, but YouTube has basically the same concept. YouTube just copied Twitch's format, so it's pretty much the same thing, and it would almost just be a regular thing like this. But yeah, I just want to play Smash Brothers with a bunch of people. And
another thing to maybe get more of like a community around us is maybe hosting. You can host like a Mario Kart tournament. I know those are really popular.
Hey, yeah, anybody want to do Mario Kart? Because if you do, let me know. Because Mario Kart's not. I don't claim to be an expert or anything. At it. Looks like we got about 4 more minutes, actually. Wow, this time went by quick. I wanted William to talk about his little, not his little, I apologize, his podcast, IntelliVisionaries. Can you please give me some talk on that?
Yeah, so the IntelliVisionaries, we discuss the game system, the Intellivision. And it's...
What? A new game system is coming out?
It's the system that came out right after the Atari, before the ColecoVision. And we just discuss the games that are on it. We go for, like, No, right now we're doing 2 hours on this show, but we have episodes that go 5-6 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
We have reviews with the people that worked on the games. We have an in-depth review of the games in general. It was once a month we did the show. We've slowly started to get like every 3 months, every 4 months, because there's a lot of stuff going on in everyone's lives.
Well, shoot, yeah, and a 5-hour podcast, that's 3 months right there. So that's really cool. Can you send me a link, and then when with these podcasts, I'm not able to edit it right away, but if I can, like later, I can always include the link down below if anyone is watching. We'll need to talk about it next week, maybe a little more towards the beginning, and maybe 1 week towards the middle. That way we can hit up people, because not everybody can get on this as quick as possible. We got about 3 more minutes. I do like to keep to time. We might run over a minute or two, but I try not to do that. Devin or David, do you guys got anything that you really want to, like, a quick take on anything?
Devin?
Not at the moment. Really the only game thing that I've been thinking about right now is the Enter the Gungeon, because and Fortnite. It's just Fortnite, kind of, like I was saying before, kind of consumed my life, but that's why I tried to jump off a little bit.
If I was good at Fortnite, I wouldn't let it consume my night or my life. I just want to. If I can get good at something, I don't care. Like, I let Fallout Shelter consume my life for a minute, about a month, maybe 2, and I was good at it. I'm good at that game though.
Ken, have you thought about a potential name for the podcast yet?
Not really. I've been pretty lazy on it in regards to. I've just been calling it Move Over Kids Podcast Episode 4. I'd prefer to call it something that could encompass more of everybody, as opposed to, if it's Move Over Kids and it's on my Move Over Kids channel, it sounds like it's, well, you're the boss, and I really don't want to be the boss. I'd rather just be kind of us just kind of gabbing away at stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more than welcome to suggestions. If anybody's out there has a suggestion, please comment on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I want to name it something else. And until then, it's just going to be podcast episode 4 or whatever.
Well, Riley had a good suggestion as far as like 4-player podcast, but I always thought, I don't know if the cast is cemented. Maybe you thought about more people, or you don't know, never know what the future holds.
Yeah, I would like. Yeah, you never know what the future holds. Like, for example, William here, he's going to be changing his times, and unfortunately, he won't be able to join us soon on Saturdays, and that might mean we go to a different time when we film this, or if
Saturdays off, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Say again?
If I can get them to give me Saturdays off, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, if you get Saturdays off, I'm cool. Like, we can cement this, and we can bring on maybe a 5th member, like, as a guest or something, because there's certain people who would be great on the show. Like Nick, one of our people that are talking. I talk to him sometimes on Facebook. Nick would be a great person on the show. He could then explain his Zelda theory. But there's a bunch of people we could just throw on real quick just to talk, gab, whatever. And then we could have, like, so if that was the case, then it could easily be a Player 4 podcast or something like that. Or if it's too hard to get that name, we could just add a 5th player until we find that name that's free on, not being used. Like, we'll add like Player 36 podcast, just because.
Yeah, no, I actually have a couple guys that could come on as guests, like Casey the Game Nerd, and
I would love
guy on. Yeah, he'd be really cool because he talks a lot about Neo Geo. And then there's another guy on Instagram. His name is Corey Saleh. He's in Austin, and he is like the Wario64 of Instagram. He's posting deals all the time. He actually got one of those limited edition PS4s yesterday that everybody was.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
I didn't try for it. I don't need it.
Yeah, me either. I decided to just cherish the one that I have right here. So.
I was going to get it if I had the opportunity. I didn't. I was always like, 38 minutes ago. I'm like, crap. Okay, so it is 12:01. I would love Casey the Game Nerd to come on, and even Mario. I don't care. Let's just bring them on. If they start cussing up a storm, I'll have to just exit them out of here. But other than that, yeah, anybody, final thoughts, anything real quick? Otherwise, just hold up your hand if you have anything to say, because it is 12:01 and I want to keep to time, respect everyone's time. Thank you everybody for joining us today. There have been 3 winners. Andrew, I saw he commented on the Facebook group, so I'll get with him. Then we have Nick and JR. You guys both won. I have your addresses. Well, Nick, I'll have to get with you on Facebook. Thank you, everybody. Also, Christian and everybody who joined us today. It was great. It was great. Honestly, the show's only going to get better, but it's only going to get better if people like yourselves comment, because the 4 of us, we don't know what we're doing. We need you guys to keep us in check. So please, just keep it coming. We appreciate everything that you've done. The show is pretty much over right now. It is dangerous to go alone. So please, everyone, just share this with a friend, and we'll see you next time.